This is X-Wing RLJ playing Subnautica. This here is the escape pod you start the game out in after that ship there crashes in the prologue. So this is me playing Subnautica. That there is a Seamoth, kind of a mini submarine. I built that one and left it over there because I got stuck on land and I couldn't get back in the water. This here is the second one I built, which is essential to progression of the gameplay. This game does very little to explain what you need to do and where you need to go and how to get there. So I actually had to look it up. This is my third time playing this game. In order to finish the game the first time, I actually did have to look up where to go and how to get there. Just because this game doesn't spell it out for you. You can point out over there, looking at there's you see some clouds moving, but you also see one that's not moving. That's what we call a static cloud. In this game, static clouds hide islands. So that's an island over there being hidden by that cloud. And today I'm gonna head over to that island and show you what's there. In my Seamoth that is not stuck on land. For this game, everything that you build, you have to find the components and materials for. The way this game, the best way I can explain it is the game. There's another static cloud there that hides another island. Anyhow, as I was saying, this game essentially takes and breaks down the materials that you gather into their basic elements, and then fabricates the items that you're looking for, or that you're trying to make from those elements. It's the best way I can explain it, because you don't actually build stuff. And so we're headed off to that island. It's about 1,000 meters away. You could swim, but it takes a while. This sub is much faster. The island we're headed to is actually a floating island. There's some animals stuck to the bottom of it that cause it to float. You'll catch a glimpse of it maybe as we approach. This Seamoth does not do well as far as letting you see what's above water. Most of the game, almost the entire game, is spent underwater. But as you come to the surface with the Seamoth, you can jump out just a little bit, but then you're back under. It does a very poor job keeping your canopy above the surface of the water for you to see where you're going. You can see I have a compass at the top there, and you have to gather the materials to make that compass before you can use it. And there you see the island is now revealed. So as we get closer, it'll get bigger, of course. And if we look underneath, you can see kind of that it's, rather than going out like a real world, there's that glowing thing there was the animal holding this thing up. Otherwise it'd be sitting on the floorboard or ocean floor. I mentioned earlier that I got one of these stuck up on the land there, so you want to stop before you get up on land and get out. Luckily it doesn't float away. Either there's no tide, or the tides are not effective against the stuff that you put out. So you don't have to worry about that floating away. It'll be there when you come back. Any place where there's land, you'll have these four-legged crab type things, and they will attack you. They don't do much damage. Get out your knife that you'll have to make also. 2 hits usually makes them run away. A third hit will kill it. Those little green puffs of smoke like that there is their blood. For some reason they didn't create a separate animation for killing things on land as they did in the sea. So I mean, that's how the blood would look spilling from a creature underwater. Got a little graphics glitch here where the legs keep moving like it's trying to walk away, but it's actually dead. The key to developing blueprints and whatnot in order to be able to make stuff is to scan things. Plants, animals. Some of the plants and animals will give you blueprints by themselves. Other ones, other blueprints actually require you to scan actual technology, for lack of a better term. You'll find, like for the example, the repair tool. You've got to go find a couple pieces of it and scan each piece. And once you do that, then you'll be able to, it'll generate the blueprint and you'll be able to make it. Yep, that's that one that's already dead. Just doesn't know it. So on this island there's two tall mountain peaks with a valley in the middle. The top of each peak holds a lab from previous crashed ships, where the survivors built a couple of labs. But down in the valley is another lab. Now what we're doing here is we're coming here to scan not the buildings and furniture that's in it, so we can add to our blueprint build. The primary building you're wanting from here is the multi-purpose room, but you can also get an observatory. But the multi-purpose room is going to be the primary room that you're going to use in your base. See, there's a lab up there, and there's a second lab over there. Like I said, there's a valley in the middle, and I'll show you that lab when we get over to it. Now there are paths that go up to these labs. I'm not going to be able to make it up here. Can't scale this wall to go find the path that goes up there. You will find a bunch of labs underwater as you progress through the game. You'll find data pads. Some data pads give you blueprints, some don't. Get my knife out in case there's more crabs up here. Like I said, the crabs don't do much damage, but there are sometimes some places where their numbers can really do a number on your health. So try to keep your health above half at all times. Now I have this. I have the difficulty level set to where I don't have to worry about food and water. I just find it in a lot of these games, the food and water requirements take up so much of your time just trying to find those things that you can't really enjoy playing the game much. It's not as bad in this game as it is in some other games, but if you spend so much time, you spend all the time looking for food and water, then you don't spend much time actually playing. See here, I'm scanning the actual room. That's the observatory room. I scanned the planter there. Scan the bulkhead here. Bulkhead increases the strength of your base. So if you want to scan that, so you can prevent your base from leaking and flooding. It's a real pain in the butt. I just learned that the hard way. So we'll head back down this mountain, and we'll head up the other one. Now, this game, like I said, this game isn't as bad with the food and water as some other games. Especially once you get to this island, you can scan the planters and grow beds, so you can build those in your lab and actually grow food and stuff in your lab. Also, you can grow. There's a particular tree that you can eat in emergency. It's not that good for eating. The real use for that tree is to fuel your bioreactor, which I don't bother with. I just, at least not in the first base that I build. requires too much to get to that point. I just use solar panels at first, and they store energy. So even though they aren't generating energy during or at night, they have a stored energy, so that if you have enough stored energy, you'll get through the whole night. But you don't really need it because you don't spend all your time in the base. This here's the second lab. Go in here and scan some more plant. That there's a melon plant, which is good for food if you're playing on the one where you're playing on the difficulty that requires food. We'll get the pot.
New blueprint acquired.
Like I said, you can get data pads in here. The data pads will have information.
Integrating new PDA data.
That data pad actually just gives a story of the people that got trapped here. There's a series of data pads that will tell the whole story. So now we've hit the 2 labs on the peaks. We'll head down to the one in the valley. This is the one where you'll get the blueprint for the multi-purpose room. Now, like I said, this is my 3rd time playing this game. I played it twice on the PS4 all the way through. This one here is a PS5 run. Now, every time I started a new game on the PS4, the map was identical every time I played. This PS5 version, all the major locations are the same, but the geography of the land in between them has changed. The terrain has changed. So, take care of this other crab. This is the 3rd lab down here in the middle, like I said. Now, when I played through this on the PS4, there was about 6 or 7 crabs on this, but there's not nearly so many this time around for some reason. So I just scanned the wall planter, even though I can't actually see it from here. You'll be able to see it from the inside. It's a wall where you can plant. It's a wall segment where you can plant stuff directly on the wall. Once stuff's grown there, it's kind of like vines or whatnot. Again, that's a piece of technology, like a tool. Most of those require you to scan at least 2 of them before you have the whole blueprint, but that one did not. So here, this crab. It's not the best combat system, but that's okay because you don't do a lot of combat in the game. So you have an outdoor planter. External grow bed, as they call it. I got the multi-purpose room right after I scanned the wall planter I was telling you about. That's a data pad, purple tablet, which you'll need for other parts of the game, which I may cover in another video. And I am done here. Now there was an actual item that I missed, and I'm going to have to go back to it later to get that item. Gotta make a mod station, so I'll need that there. But there's a bunch of different things you'll have to do. The big sub that you'll need to go real deep in the water, it takes a lot of scans for that one. So anyhow, this is coming up on the end. I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, this is my first video ever, so please, constructive feedback is appreciated. Thank you.